What is the difference between an infatuation and love? These terms are somewhat interchangeable, in my opinion, as many are infatuated with a person and then call it love, while others are in love but just say that they're just having infatuation. Can somebody actually truly explain what love is? For me, no. Like, love for me was an experience, but I also had an experience with infatuation. And I believe that infatuation is what sparks love, because you can't just instantly love someone. There's steps to this, and I do want to share my experience with this. So here was the story and how I was infatuated with someone, which slowly grew into, let's say, love, if you can probably call it that, after you've listened to the story. So, it was my first day in a new school, which was also a university. Think of it as an all in one school where it has middle schoolers all the way to college students. We had a thing where all newcomers are gathered and are shown some kind of concert by the seniors of the school. And I was already late because I woke up late. Now I had to get dressed and run to the nearest cab driver to drive me to school. When I arrived, they were already marching. Now, it's sort of a tradition to march around the campus for newcomers, and around that time when I got into the campus, they were not mid-march, but they were ending the march already, so they were already entering the building where the concert was being held. So I was already late, and I missed out on one of the most crucial sorts of tradition in the school, where we had this massive arc near the gates of the university, and newcomers, as newcomers, they have the opportunity, or they are given the opportunity in the parade or the march, to go inside of the arc, because once you graduate, then it's going to be the inverse where you exit the arc. So it's newcomer in, graduating out. That's what it was. But I was late. I wasn't able to pass the arc and just had to join the march of, I think, middle schoolers. So I got into the building. However, I was lost. And I didn't know where my supposed classmates were, so I had to look around, talk to people, go into my classmates' group chat where all of us were in there and was like begging for someone to like come find me because I was like having a hard time finding. And yeah, they did not come and get me. And I hate them because of that. Like, what the hell? However, just when I was about to give up and just sit somewhere random, someone tapped my shoulder. And when I turned around, I saw her, our class representative. Let's call her Lavender. Well, Lavender looked at me, said my name, and asked me if I was that person. And to me, I was just awestruck, because the lights were perfect, and I thought I fell for this person with one look. She was cute, and she also carried a lot of confidence with her. She guided me to where my classmates were and left to sit in the front row. And, whoop-de-doo, funnily enough, what I didn't know at that time was that the person whom I was actually going to fall for so hard was behind me. Time passed, and unfortunately, I was losing interest in her because I just saw her less. We were always in online class, so no real connections were actually being made. And when it actually happened, when we had face to face classes, I heard she had gotten herself a boyfriend, so it just saddened me, I guess. However, this wasn't the end, because whoop de doo, they broke up. And then, just how God intended, I saw her as Olaf from Frozen. This was during one of the projects we had, and her cuteness immediately killed me. I was falling for her all over again. I tried multiple times to get her attention. Well, I think my attempts were just weird. And I made sure not to be creepy and not pushy. But that carefulness made me overthink my words. I wasn't really me when I talked to her. I was like a figure who wanted to make sure she was comfortable around by talking about the things that interest her rather than trying to find something that interests both of us. Every conversation was just her, and I think she got turned off by my tone. I really hope I didn't come off as a creep. That would just break me inside. I'm like, oh goddamn, I was a creep. No. Then came a really, really depressing time in my high school. It was during December when I was pushed to be the absolute. Well, I was pushed to the absolute physical and mental limit because I had been cramming and doing multiple all-nighters for 2 projects that needed to be done. It was a research paper and a film about Jesus Christ. Yeah. The research paper is another story, but the Jesus Christ filming, oh boy. That was... It was something. How I got to that point was just very weird because it was just everyday filming, trying to film shots, and I was basically a cameraman and a creative prop maker. Even though I wasn't assigned to it, that wasn't my role nor my main job. My main job was editing, but I have been a cameraman, a prop creator, and an editor, which took a toll on me. I guess I didn't know my boundaries when it comes to work during that time. And it all came crashing down at the very end. So my breaking point was the last day of filming, and I was supposed to play one of the criminals who was crucified alongside Jesus. Originally I was supposed to be Judas, but they changed it for someone else, which I really wanted to play Judas. Anyways, I was already looking like a dead pile of bones, and some classmates even commented on it. Of course, my best friends at the time, let's call her mother, because, she did act like a mother to me for the rest of the high school life. And I love her. I love her so much, because she was a mother figure, but most importantly, I think she became somewhat of a sister figure to me that I never had. Can't wait to see her again soon, hopefully. Anyways, they made sure I was alive by feeding me something. At least some of them made sure I didn't bulldoze 50 cups of coffee, because I swear on my left nutsack I was a fiend when it comes to coffee. One day, 20 cups of coffee, yeah, that's normal, bruh. Luckily, it wasn't... It was, I don't know. I don't know how did it crash from 21 cups of coffee. Honestly, I just felt normal. And during the last day of the filming, they commented on my appearance because I was... I looked like butt. I looked like a donkey. From all the wear and tear that I had to endure. They commented, it's like, oh, you good? You alright? But some of them were like, yeah, he's probably getting into character for his role. And yeah, that might be partially right. But mostly I was literally just tired. I wanted to go home so bad. It was almost midnight on campus, and I I saw Lavender was going home, and when I saw this, my body just moved, and I ran towards her. No time to think, no time to ask, just bolted towards her, tapped her shoulders, and she turned. Her cute eyes, cute smile. She had a very, very confused look, which was pretty cute. She asked me, what? I didn't respond when she went, hey, what's up? Then I finally spoke, asked her, can I hug you? And surprisingly, she did. She opened her arms and we had a wonderful hug. And I think that's what kept me together and finished the last day of filming. She was able to hold me together for just that one hug. And I still remember her confused look and how she was like sort of frustrated that I didn't talk for the first couple of seconds when I just tapped her. I really hope I didn't weird her out, but I probably did. Because, like, just imagine your classmate just tapped you on the shoulder with a dead look and asked for a hug. Like, maybe that's a little bit weird if a girl, you know, in a girl's perspective, a guy just ran up to him, or ran up to her. And yeah, that was basically my last romantic moment I had with her. Because after that, she dated another classmate of mine, so yeah. Now was that infatuation or was it love? I could probably say it's both. Like, at first, it was definitely infatuation, but the hug? I think I was genuine with my feelings on that. Like, from being super stressed to somewhat in a state of calm after hugging, I think I've already developed feelings for her, so I'd say it's both. What do you think? Also, I've teased about the person whom I genuinely fell for. That's for another video, because we are 15 minutes in and I don't want this to be too long. Alright, see you guys next time.